I was deer hunting on private land in Calhoun County, Arkansas, during the fall of 2007. The stand I was in sat 6 or 8 feet above the ground, built like a small box with 2 windows. From there, I watched a narrow ATV trail that cut through miles of thick hardwood and pine. There was a game trail running about 75 or 80 yards away, and that was where my attention stayed. To my right beyond the trail, a creek ran through heavy vine-covered bottomland, but I couldn't see the water through the growth. It was late in the day when a faint rotten egg smell drifted in. I figured the wind had shifted and carried the odor from a distant mill. A few minutes later, a doe stepped out of the brush from the creek side. She moved across the ATV trail and disappeared into the thick vines on the other side. Nothing unusual about her behavior, so I kept watching the crossing point. 5 minutes passed before that smell intensified. It hit suddenly, strong and heavy, enough to make me notice it immediately. While I focused on the same stretch of game trail, something large stepped out where the deer had come from. It paused at the edge of the trail, upright, broad, and fully covered in dark hair. I knew instantly I wasn't looking at anything familiar. It stood on 2 feet with a heavy, wide body. Its attention was aimed straight across the trail toward the same gap the deer had taken. It didn't glance up or down the ATV path. It didn't turn its head in my direction. It stepped across the trail with long strides and followed the same game path the deer had used, slipping back into the brush without noise. I stayed in the stand another 10 or 15 minutes, even though darkness was settling in. I didn't want to climb down too early and meet that thing in the brush. I had a rifle, but I didn't consider using it. The size and mass of that creature left no doubt that one shot might not stop it. I waited until I felt enough time had passed, then climbed down and walked the long way back to camp. It was the last time I hunted that area. From what I saw, the creature stood right at 8 feet tall. The hair covering its body was dark brown mixed with black, 2 or 3 inches long, with longer beard-like hair under its chin. The head had an ape-like shape with little neck visible. I only saw the side of the face, but the skin around the exposed areas seemed slightly darker than a person's. The arms hung long and heavy, longer in proportion than a man's. The upper body was massive, with a thick chest and a full midsection. The legs were muscular, but looked slimmer compared to the width of the torso. I didn't see any features that identified sex. It made no vocal sound and almost no sound at all as it walked into the vines. The only thing that marked its presence was that strong sulfide odor that filled the clearing both before and during the sighting.